My name is Jacob, and welcome to another episode of Uncut on the Abrasive Conversations platform. In this episode, I would like to talk about the recent developments in international politics. And this week has been a hectic week for South Africa, the continent, and the rest of the world. Because one crazy person that the Americans voted into power decided to ruin the global economic system. Just because this person thinks that the United States of America is not making enough money from countries, whether it is their allies or whether it is smaller countries like South Africa, and even uninhabited islands. He is literally taxing everyone. So I think most people who follow my channel would be aware that Donald Trump have raised tariffs. Now, the reason why I'm making this episode because I don't want to repeat what has been said in other news reports, and I think most of you are up to date with most of the recent developments. That's not where I'm at. I just want to talk about two things. The one is the lies of AfriForum and especially Kallie Kriel. So Kallie Kriel claims that we are getting a 30% tariff increase because of the ANC government. Now that's a lie, and the reason why he can lie that blatantly because he is leading an alt-right group that is extremely racist, and that specific group believes everything. So Kallie Kriel thinks of him as a future Donald Trump. Now, Kallie Kriel, that will never happen in South Africa. You will not become the Donald Trump of South Africa. Julius Malema will be the president before you, and there will be other people before you that will be the president. But you, Kallie Kriel, will not be the next Donald Trump. So this alt-right lie movement that you currently have in trying to persuade a base that the problem is actually black people and black leaders in this country is completely a lie. I do not agree with it and I do not support it. The truth is that Trump taxed almost every country in this world. The European Union was taxed, China was taxed, the UK was taxed, South Africa and many other countries were taxed. Canada was taxed. So a lot of countries are currently feeling that tax burden. Now, it's not a tax on countries like the UK and South Africa. It's a tax on the Americans. But it means because they're raising taxes in the United States on those individual countries' products, is that things are increasing in the other country. So, for example, Agri South Africa had a visit in the United States where they met with leaders in government, they meet with businesses there and various commerces and chambers of commerce. And one thing that they say is that the Americans want to do is they want to do business with South Africa. And what Agri SA said is that the effect that is on agri products is about 7%, and most of the fruit and vegetables that will be affected is citrus and grapes is the biggest two, and then the other one is nuts. Vegetables is the fourth category. So it's citrus, the biggest one, then it's grapes, and then it's nuts. So people who are working in that industry, and farmers in particular, are going to feel some level of discomfort in the coming months, the coming weeks, and the coming and even years if it continues like that. But the one thing that Agri SA said is that if they cannot sell to the US market, they have to sell somewhere. So they can sell it domestically, or they can find other markets. They can find that markets on the continent, or they can go to the east, or they can go to Europe. So since Trump decided that it's going to raise tariffs or taxes in the United States on imports into America, different role players and countries across the world has been start talking. And the one thing is certain at this particular point: the United States is the enemy, and the rest of the world is going to gang up on the United States. What that means is that you will see future collaboration amongst different groups, even amongst enemies, to sell their products. China in retaliation already increased with a 34% tax on imports from the United States into China, meaning they raised tariffs by 34%. That's retaliationary. But our things, their things have to go somewhere. And this is where you would see more and more cooperation. Now, it brings me to the second thing, and this is the one that is more important. People who are working in the grapes, citrus, nuts, and vegetable sector, those are mostly farm workers. And those are the people that are working on the farms of the members of AfriForum, the organization that Kallie are running. So Kallie Kriel created this particular problem, what is alt-right bullshit that has been spewing to the United States. And it came back and it put up AfriForum and him in the ass. So there's a big bite on their asses now, because they are going to affect it more than any industry. For example, the mining industry is not going to be affected as much as the agri industry. So it's not equal across the board if you look at various industries. Tourism is going to continue. South Africa is a beautiful country with a lot of beaches and natural attractions and even cultures. People will come. So the tourist industry most probably will not be affected. There's other sectors that is going to be affected. But the biggest one that is going to be affected is most probably going to be agri, and the people working on the farms of the members of AfriForum, and especially those people that Kallie Kriel are saying is the problem. So the black people who are working on these farms is also the problem in South Africa. It's a problem for those black people to vote for the ANC because you black people are the problem. So Kallie Kriel and his buddies created this problem. He created a problem from them, but because they are wealthy, they control the wealth of this country, they have assets, they can sell it, they can move to different countries, they have refugee status in the United States. The farm workers that is working on those farms are going to be affected. Those families are going to be affected. So that, for me, is the biggest consequence that I predicted a couple of episodes ago. I said to Kallie Kriel and AfriForum that they are playing a dangerous game. And yeah, the game is coming back to roost. So we will see in the coming months and weeks how bad this is going to affect South Africa's. And it's going to affect South Africa because we also saw that the GNU have passed the budget with the VAT increase. So with tariffs growing, it's going to slow down. That's my phone ringing now. I'm going to cut and then I'm going to come back. So I'm back from my phone being ring. The point I'm trying to make is that we as South Africans have to be careful, because you can be from what different grouping in South Africa, and you can go to the United States and you can plead your case that the United States must interfere in South Africa. In the end, it's all of us that is going to be affected with us. So I plead with AfriForum and the people from Oranje and all of these other people that wants to resurrect apartheid and colonialism and want to carve out white pockets in South Africa and on the African continent. Please stop. Really, please stop. It's not in your interest, and it's not in our interest. It hasn't worked before, and it's not going to work again. So please stop. It's going to create a problem for you, the generations after that, and it's going to create a problem for everyone in South Africa and in this continent. In 1997, we started the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and it started to work where we see how different groups could reconcile their differences in South Africa. And I think we have to pay more attention to that specific idea or vision that was put forward in 1997. How does different groups, especially a victim and a perpetrator of colonial violence and apartheid violence, reconcile? How do we work together to carve a future that is beneficial for all of us? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.